Let's go!
So, while it's still fresh in my head, going through the experience that I've had over the past few days with Street Fighter V, I think it's time. Street Fighter V hype check. More important than any, the netcode patch just came out. Arguably, the last few characters of the game are here. What better time to sort of talk about it all? I think it's largely unknown what a lot of people feel like I think about this game. A lot of people think I hate Street Fighter V. A lot of people think I'll just defend Capcom in any way. So let's just get that out of the air and start from the very beginning. I like Street Fighter V the most when it was in its beta. Street Fighter V's beta, with I have video on the channel, was really interesting. There was a lot of stuff the characters could do, and I found it to be the most captivating because I thought they were going to add more stuff. But progressively, as it got further towards the launch date of the system, or the game, there was a lot less stuff. There was a lot less stuff the characters can do. It's felt specifically controlled for the sake of esports that we can't give our characters too many crazy things because people are already coming up with wacky, really good stuff from the betas, which was very disheartening. So it led me to the point where there wasn't really any characters at the launch of Street Fighter V that I wanted to play. Because I knew them from their beta versions, and the beta versions were dope, dude! There's some crazy stuff everyone could do in the betas, and that was really cool. I didn't play a lot of it, until someone gave me a very cool mod of putting my face over Ken's face, like a bearded, glassed Ken. Pior was the guy that did that. He's a mod maker for Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, and really good 3D artist, just a nice guy. And he made that for me. He told me at EVO, I made this for you. And I was like, you know what, I'm inspired to play this game again. So we got to Platinum, and at the time, Platinum was the highest rank possible. I did it in 4 or 5 days of playing online. And it was fun. I actually enjoyed myself. But at the end of it, I felt extremely done. And that was largely in part that I didn't find any of the characters super captivating in the game, and the stutteriness of a lot of the matches was aggressively unfun. And that sort of carried up until, you know, even recently with the online, but I guess we'll just keep the online to the very end. Season 2 of Street Fighter V doesn't keep me interested. There's some curious stuff that's in there. I think the story mode did nothing for this game, man. I played the story mode twice on stream, and I could barely even tell you what's going on. There's a big eyeball in space or some shit, and Bison's an asshole. I don't know, and there's some dolls. It's got some cute moments in it, but it's not... This has never been the stuff that people like Street Fighter for. I feel that a more captivating arcade mode would have done better for this game than a big story mode. Like, I really think that just giving us interesting, like, beginning, middle, and end arcade modes for every character would be cool. And that's the thing that always carries NRS, is that every single one of their characters gets an arcade ending, you know? And they get their story mode. It's clear that the focus was definitely lost when none of that stuff was present when the game came out, which is why the game got so much shit that it did. It was barely... There was barely anything to this game. When I played it before it was out, I'm like, wait a minute, there's just versus mode and online? What the hell is going on? None of the currency and the stuff that they were meaning to, like, gotcha bait you in this game ever grabbed me, just because I never was hooked on to the gameplay. Now, Season 2 passes. I can barely even remember who's, like, in Season 2. There's, like, I think Jury, I think, was one of the more fun characters in Season 2. Season 3 shows up, and this is the point where I think Street Fighter V gets a lot better, in my personal opinion. Everyone was super excited for Sagat, but no one expected that Sagat wasn't the character that was going to get us all super excited. It actually ended up being G. Right? G ends up being the lightning in a bottle character in this game that is really fun to watch, and more importantly, I think gameplay-wise is actually super cool, because they gave the character chores. They finally gave a character, like, Jury had chores before where she had to, like, build up her stuff, but it wasn't as much fun as G, like, pulling energy from the earth and doing all this crazy shit. I genuinely thought, wow, I can't believe this is a Street Fighter V character. This is super important for the game because there's, like, a big shift in the way characters are designed. Everyone would say, you didn't like Ziku, you didn't like Ziku. I thought Ziku was really cool, but Ziku, like, right off the bat, gameplay-wise, I was just like, nah, ugh. It felt like sort of an unfun version of Guy. Like, just Guy, but you can do less. Guy, but you get a weird Strider leg. So while I was super excited for Ziku, and I'm like, this is really awesome, gameplay-wise, he just didn't line up for me, even though I love Strider Hiryu. It was like one of my favorite fighting game characters ever. So I think G does a lot for the game. I think later on, Kage, I was hoping would do a lot for the game, but the two characters that really resonated me within this personal time frame was Akuma and G. If you look at these characters in comparison, there is definitely some inconsistencies in terms of, like, animation quality and overall visual quality. And you start seeing that stuff on Sakura in comparison to, like, Akuma, on Ziku in comparison to Cody. Some of these characters look very weird, and then you get the Zikus and Akumas, and they just look godlike awesome Like, my God, like the pinnacle of Capcom, like fighting game animation. They're so sick. And then you get characters like Minot, which I argue, I'm gonna say it to this day, I think Minot is the best animated 2D fighting game character. And I'm not saying that out of like thirst. I'm not. I think she genuinely has some of the craziest looking animations that look so ridiculously legit. Everything she does looks miraculously cool, like animation prowess. And I have to give it up for that. They came up with a character that was more cooler looking and interesting than even Rose. And she's like a, you know, a protege of Rose, but so much cooler. Like, there's so much personality in this character. And I don't mean personality like the way, you know, people usually say personality. I mean, she's actually got a lot of character. There's some characters in this game that I think look amazing, and then you get some very weird animated characters like Cody and Sakura and Blanca for a little bit. There's just some interesting inconsistencies. But funny enough, similar to Street Fighter 4, I liked Street Fighter 4 at the beginning. I didn't like it towards the middle, but I ended up liking it at the end. And I liked it at the end because they introduced characters like Oni and Evil Ryu. And I thought they changed up the game and had some really interesting, cool looking stuff. So I dug that, man. I thought that was dope. And at the end of Street Fighter 5, it's actually very similar because Gil immediately was like, this character is sick! There's so much crazy setups and combo routes and paths, and am I in the ice state or the fire state? How do I use and abuse that? How do I convert from this to that? There is so much stuff to lab, and that was fun, man. It's fun labbing a character and having it take some time, because so much when I was playing Street Fighter 5 before, pretty much play a character for one night and that was it. Play their arcade mode, play for one night online, and then just peace out. I was kind of done with like everyone after one day except for G. But then suddenly Gil comes out, and Gil reminds me a lot of G. A lot of combo paths, a lot of different opportunities that open up for stuff, and he's super cool. And he's animated really well. And believe it or not, Seth is the same thing. So much stuff they can do. And I love that. I love labbing with Seth and figuring it out. And Seth's got good pokes and, you know, fun, neutral, and interesting stuff that you can throw out that isn't exactly horribly unsafe. And that's fun. It feels like there's some good stuff on this character that is legit fun to play as. While a lot of the times with many characters in Street Fighter 5, it feels like things just aren't good. Like some stuff just isn't very good. And that ends up being weird. All I'll say is that gameplay-wise, strictly as a game, I think Street Fighter V is a more interesting game now than it ever really has been. Especially with these couple of characters. We're at the end of the game now, and I legit love playing as Seth, and I have a lot of fun setting up for things and going for slightly more difficult combos or more fun combos or anything like that. And it's bizarre. I've always been pretty critical on Street Fighter V because I think it's done a lot of things aggressively to piss off a lot of the fan base. And I think Capcom absolutely deserves flack for that. Especially considering, you know, their other pedigree of fighting games that have done a lot to piss people off. I've always remained critical, but I've always kept my mind open about stuff being cool if it is cool. And I'm gonna give them credit where credit is due. Seth and Gil are dope. They are very cool characters that change the mold. And I'm not the only one saying this. I don't even play a lot of this game, but even some of the most profound Street Fighter V players in the world, I just watched a video of Daigo saying they can't believe Capcom put out a character that's this much fun. Like, he's super captivated that they found a character, that they were able to design a character that's like this. And he's having a ton of fun with this character. He actually legit likes Seth. And saying that this is like the return of, you know, the golden age of Capcom. And I'm like, it definitely feels like a more traditional, classic Capcom character instead of these safe esportsy kind of characters. And not all characters are safe and esportsy in this game, but you got to admit, Street Fighter V absolutely started that way. It definitely started as very safe and very esportsy, even though it still is esportsy. The big thing that leads us into like the end of Street Fighter V and the hype check for me is the online. And the experience that I had online sort of echoed what I ran into back in 2016 when I got to Platinum. I was done. And every single time I jumped back online, I was sort of reminded of the horrible stutteriness that was this game's net play. And we're in a situation now where the netcode has been patched. It's had some adjustments made to it that was similar to the fan-made patch that are hopefully fixing things. And I can say from my experience after playing like, I don't know, like 40, 50 matches tonight, something like that, I've definitely had more consistent, faster matchmaking, and the majority of my matches have run pretty damn good. To the point of which I have no complaints about a lot of these matches, like a lot of them. And that has been a very, very big disparity in comparison to the past 4 years wherever I've jumped online to this game, and at least half my matches are just, I call them stuttery fuck fests. I end every single night super frustrated, and I'm like, you know what, winning doesn't even feel good, because at this point, I don't know if the rollback or if the stuttery rollback is just on my end or just on their end, and even if I'm winning, I don't even know if this victory is even worth it, because on there and they're just watching me pop all over the place. And that's frustrating. That's some frustrating shit to deal with. And it's not just me. Like I said, I watch a lot of people play Street Fighter V. I lurk all over the place and everyone's had these complaints for a long time. So even though my minor experiences with the game over the past 4 years sort of echo the major experiences that a lot of people have. But this netcode fix does seem to have done something for me. However, similar to Street Fighter V's net play, a lot of people have good experience and a lot of people have bad experiences, and it's never seems to find a little spot, and there's never a happy medium. So I've been trying to get impressions from a lot of people, and some people are like, yeah, it's been really good. It's been better than it normally has been. And other people are like, no, it's super stuttery for me. It's been really rough for me ever since the patch. It's not good. It's the same shit. They didn't change anything. It's hard because there could be a situation where I jump online tomorrow and it's rough again, you know? It could just be the same old problems that I ran into. But at least for tonight, it's pretty good. So at the end of things, if this is the end of Street Fighter V, I think they've actually left the game in a much better state than it was at launch. And I can't say the same for Street Fighter 4 because at least with Street Fighter 4, it was left in a poorer state, especially with the rough amount of balancing and stuff like that, than it was towards like the middle and, you know, the beginning where people were actually pretty happy with the game. And I hope it sort of remains this way. I think this is actually like, I think Street Fighter staying at this point, Street Fighter V at least, actually that leaves me kind of excited. I'm actually excited to come back and play some other characters with the way the game currently is in its current state. So, like I said, at the end of things, I kind of like Street Fighter V. I actually do enjoy the core gameplay experience. It's more unga-bunga, right? Dashes are hard to react to. It's tough to deal with every character's close range, like 50-50. Do I just take the throw? All that stuff. And I don't think all those design decisions are inherently bad. It's just the thing that always got my gripes was that the characters were never interesting enough to play. And now they're actually pretty fun. Would I recommend this game to someone at this point? I think the Championship Edition has a lot to offer, you know, in terms of arcade modes and story mode and all the different costumes and characters that are in the game. It's actually a full package now. Unfortunately, it's not nearly as much of a full package as Ultra Street Fighter 4 was. It's just not. But are we at the end of Street Fighter 5? That's not confirmed. It just really feels like it's the end. I wasn't expecting that, right? I was definitely expecting to lay into Capcom and just be like, you stupid assholes. But I have to give them credit where credit's due. Some of the stuff in this game has been pretty sick over the past couple of months. And I can only hope that a lot of these design decisions and interesting characters make their way to Street Fighter 6. The last thing I want is characters in Street Fighter 6, Ken and Ryu, to play like they're Mortal Kombat 11 characters, and they have some very specifically designed things, and that's all they can do, and it's just about where you use your limited tool set against your opponent's limited tool set. I'm just not a big fan of that. I want characters to do cool stuff. I want to see Ken and Ryu do dope shit. Possibly that's stuff that they've never done before. And luckily at the end of Street Fighter V, that's exactly what we got. We got interesting V-triggers for every character. We got Seth doing completely different things than Seth has ever done in Street Fighter 4. And Gil doing also really interesting things that he's never really done in previous games. So if we keep that up, I'll be damn happy, dude. I'll be damn happy about the future of Street Fighter if that's the case. No more Ken Banana Hair, though.